We are back, and for the first time, I get the pleasure of introducing Steve Kennedy, a dedicated real estate specialist who's been in the industry for over 22 years, focusing mostly on the Queen Anne market. And it's fun to meet you and have you here, Steve. I've seen your very noticeable real estate signs.
Thanks, Ben. Appreciate that. Yeah, the sign, having Queen Anne specialist on the sign has helped out.
Well, I always like, because they kind of resemble University of Arizona colors, you know, the dark blue with the red.
What about the dogs?
You know,
I've got to put a little purple on my sign.
Heather excited. You get my wife and some of the people in my family excited, but I only bleed Arizona red and blue.
Well, that's good. The sign's always, your moniker's got to be out there, and I'm glad you took notice of it and got me on your show today.
Absolutely. Well, Steve, let's talk a little bit about Queen Anne, because that does seem to be where you're doing a lot of your work in the city.
Yeah, Queen Anne's been in my specialty market I'm going on probably about almost 20 years now, and it's one of those things. It's a dense community. A lot of lot of demographic there. So you've got apartment owners, apartment dwellers. They're turning themselves into home buyers, condo buyers, and
probably have apartment owners and apartment dwellers.
That's right. Yeah. So I'd like to sell the apartment owners as well too. So, but it's an really urban neighborhood. We've had dramatic change in Queen Anne over the last 4 years. It's our whole main Queen Anne Boulevard is changing into high-rise almost, with another demographic of kind of high-end apartments above that. And but the market, inner city, we're being really helped out, and not only Queen Anne, but Magnolia and Capitol Hill and Wallingford and Green Lake, those areas surrounding the north core of the city. You've got these major companies coming in right into South Lake Union
So I mean, a lot of the jobs kind of seem to be pressuring I guess the real estate market's up, because one of the big things that are out there right now is Amazon and all the hiring that's going on in South Lake Union. Right,
South Lake Union. They've done. I guess there was something I'm not totally sure, but they've raised the height limit of the high rises down in South Lake Union. They're going to allow more commercial space. Mm-hmm. Going to bring in more jobs. So the immediate neighborhoods like Queen Anne, we're getting a real influx of people, and it's driving prices, it's driving rents. So it's kind of an exciting time. There's low inventory. It seems like that market between the 500 and 700 is a massive just influx. There's a lot of buyers. It relates directly to the conforming jumbo, which ends at 505. So everything that's kind of above that rate, at 25% above that, is a hot market. So you're up to about 650. You're finding there's just no inventory at all. And then it comes on, usually gets bid up in price.
So Queen Anne's a pretty desirable place to live. I mean, it's one of those places that people, aspire to live in.
Yeah, I like to think so.
Yeah. You live there then as well?
I live there myself, yeah.
Sell your neighbors' houses?
Raise my kids there, and it's a fantastic place. Good people, nice people, great businesses that surround us. And it's just, it's kind of one of those spots. It used to be more so that people they went to Queen Anne specifically because they lived there. Now we've got a bigger commercial district, so I think people come there to kind of hang out, and that also drives people saying, "Hey, I want to buy a house here," and be able to walk to all the kind of cool places.
Dave Duncan, who was just on, was talking about new construction and these big lots of 50 houses or whatnot. Queen Anne obviously doesn't have that, but you talk about a lack of inventory. How does new construction go down when you don't have a lot of 100-acre lots, 30-acre lots? I mean, you don't have a lot of.
In my business, we like to call it infill. So we're taking down and trying to get the highest and best use for a particular property. So that might be, if it's an L zone property, and those L zones have just changed recently in DPD. But we're taking down an old beat up house that might have been owned by a little old lady up on Queen Anne Hill that's been dilapidated.
Always a little old lady, isn't it?
And she owns it free and clear.
It's never like a little old man who lives in one of these houses, is it?
Well, the women generally outlive men, so
okay.
That's probably why.
Totally, now I get it.
It's all better health. So you're taking that down, and you're putting up row houses, or you're putting up townhomes, which were very popular. Row houses are getting more popular. Or it's also just taking down an existing structure and putting up something nicer, and on top of Queen Anne Hill, on the top, or Capitol Hill, or Wallingford, especially too. Those neighborhoods there is a high demand for something that's not old, but it might look old, but be new. But
do these? I mean, really the infill. You're talking about essentially putting more residences where there maybe only was one before, whether it's 2, 3, 5.
That's majority. Yeah, the majority of the time, yes. Yeah, trying to peel off as much use as you can, so the highest and best use for the property. So then, if you got an apartment side, you might have, if you got one unit there and you can get 4 to 6, all the better, obviously. And you're bringing, and the city wants that as well. They want more urban density. So yeah, those are the
good because traffic's not bad. So that should be just fine, right?
That's right. Start to get the peds walking.
I know, like in other cities, there is good public transportation. Yeah. People don't all own cars in other cities. Yeah. So when a builder's out looking for, say, one of these, I guess you'd call it a teardown type house in Queen Anne, is that an easy process? It would seem like that's a pretty high demand area.
It's a high demand area. All the inner core, like south of 85th, is very high demand. And there's more and more builders and guys getting back into the business. There's a group I've worked with that's Blueprint Financial. They've actually a group of builders that has kind of come together and created financing, private financing for the builders who otherwise wouldn't have gotten any financing in years past. So there's different groups like this that have sprung up. So there's more and more guys who are out there able to purchase. It is driving prices a little bit, but for me, I like to get out and really get my nose to the ground and try and get properties that are not listed, get them out and go talk to the owners directly, see if we can get them sold. Because it's been kind of funny, but now is they're getting listed and you've got all of a sudden 10 offers on something, and so it can get a little ridiculous.
Alleviate a little of the competition.
Yeah, right.
Do you think that when you see the construction that's going up, once you buy it from the little old ladies there that have been there too long, not too long, I say that with the deepest thought, but long enough to where maybe somebody is ready to buy that property, is it mostly, we talked about being the highest and best use, so is it condos, townhomes? You talked about row houses, which row house is kind of a new Seattle thing, aren't they?
What is a row house?
There's new city code, but a row house, there's actually, it takes away the setback requirements they used to have for single family. There's setback requirements, side yard setbacks, front and back. There's also side yard setbacks and things for townhomes. Row houses they've expanded the setbacks, so you're able to get more square footage. You may not get more units, but you get more square footage out of your units.
When you I think a great way to think of it is San Francisco. If you think about all the houses that are just lined up in San Francisco.
That's what our city's trying to go for. Yeah, trying to go for, or even a Philadelphia style, if we could only get the brownstone out here. We don't know.
There you go.
Yeah, that looks pretty cool.
Bring it in the
Heather,
shit
you
ballast.
probably remember a show called Full House.
Oh, Danny Tanner?
No, it wasn't. It was Family Matters.
Full House was the one in San Francisco.
That was row houses.
Yeah, that was the family.
Maybe Full House
was.
Too, yeah.
Uncle Jesse.
You're right. Yeah. Is it King of Queens?
The twins.
That's Brooklyn.
The Olsen twins. That was the one.
Oh,
so those are definitely a new style, and they're coming in. It seems that there's a couple of developers out there, like Playhouse Group, and they're building more of a modern style home, which is really kind of hot right now. I had one listed up on top of Queen Anne Hill. I could have sold it 5 times. So it's just a kind of a unique thing that the way that everybody was going with the craftsman style and keeping with the inner city, but look that we've always had. But there's kind of a new wave look going out. It's kind of almost like a retro 60s or 50s style coming back in.
We're here with Steve Kennedy, broker with Remax Metro. Steve, so are buyers buying in, I guess, for lack of a better term, to the newer style here in Seattle?
Yeah, I think the demographic is definitely the late 20s, early 30s group is loving the more modern style and open floor plans, concrete floors. Less maintenance, yeah, less yard. Yeah, they're working, they're working a lot more hours. So, but they want to have something that's complete, finished. They don't have to worry about working on it. We're buying from a builder. You usually get a kind of a year guarantee on workmanship and things like that. So most builders and cities will come back and fix certain things for people.
What do they call them? Yurpies? Yuppies? Young urban...
Yurpies? Yeah,
Yurpies. I heard Yurpies. I used to live in Queen Anne. And
that
called me a Yurpie. Young urban professional. I don't know what the E is, but that doesn't matter right now.
It was Yuppies, I think.
Yuppies, yeah.
Yurpies is something else.
I think Yuppies live on the east side. Yurpies live downtown. Steve, so again, so what else is going on then in the future of Queen Anne? What do you see as far as insight into other projects, construction, and even the value of homes out there or downtown?
Immediately, I think we're having a kind of a huge burst of appreciation. There's still, lenders are still a little bit reluctant to take down houses, that need work and things like that. So there's issues with that. So these the guys who are getting private financing and come in and can take, grab that lot, grab that house that's got a lot of issues with it and close on it quickly. They're able to get a little bit better deals. But I think in the next 12 months we're going to see an appreciation. I think this year it's been about 6% just since February. But I think that core under $1 million market is where you want to be if you are building an in-city home. Yeah,
well, it would seem that not only is Queen Anne a desirable area, but as they, I guess, chop up the real estate into smaller pieces,
yes,
with these row homes, more people will be able to afford it.
It'll create more affordable housing, definitely.
Which is always good.
Yeah, that is.
Well, Steve, thanks so much for joining us. We have to go to break. When we come back, Steve's going to stick around. Dave's coming back. We're going to talk more about the local real estate market. We'll be right back after this break.